Oh my gosh. Allergy attack. Ugh. Okay. What am I doing besides itching? Hi everyone, I'm April, and you're watching The Tangled Cat Speaks, and this is a book edition. So, I am going to talk a little bit about some of the books that I've read and what I'm reading and what I plan to read maybe. So let's get into first this one that I finished. This is The Amalfi Curse by Sarah Penner. And this was one that I bought solely off of the cover and the inside because super pretty. And I know that I knew that going into it, I knew it was going to have some like a type of mystery, but also some magic involved. And this turned out to be, there's some time travel. Well, not really time travel. It jumps between two different time eras, but not time travel. So I think it's the 1800s, somewhere in the 1800s, I think. 1821. There's a town called Positano in Italy, which is on the Amalfi Coast, and there's a bunch of little towns that line this coast. And back in that time, there were, there were fishing communities, stuff like that, but they were also attacked by pirates. And all of the towns along this coast are plagued by these pirates, and they're afraid for their lives, for their families, for their merchandise, everything, except for this little town in Positano. And you come to find out that there are a group of women who have magical abilities, and they can control the water, the sea, and they can make currents and waves and things happen, vortexes and whirlpools and stuff like that happen to keep unwanted ships away. So they're never attacked by pirates. And for hundreds of years, people are like, what is going on? Why is it that they are the luckiest town in this area? And in the current time, there's a lot of sunken ships in this region, and scientists and archaeologists are looking as to why this is happening in this area. Why in this particular area there are just multitudes of downed, sunken ships. And so that's what kind of ties the past and the present. It's kind of a predictable story, but I liked it. I liked the dialogue. I liked the premise. I liked everything about it. It was fun, and I was worried that I wasn't gonna like it because of the romance element involved. And I don't really usually like romance elements in my stories. That's just not my thing. But in this, it was written well enough that I liked it, and it didn't get overly lovey-dovey and touchy-feely. But I enjoyed it enough so that I think I'm going to keep this one for a little while. I do have the other two books that she's written back there on that shelf right there. So I'm going to put this back there. They all have pretty covers. Literally, that's why I bought this one, and I thought, well, she's only got two other books. I'm going to go ahead and buy them. And I liked this one enough that I'm definitely going to read the other two at some point in the future. But I am keeping this. I'm not taking it to a little free library. Now, one that I am taking to a little free library is the book that I had been pushing off for months. This is Stuart Wood's Under the Lake. Now, just because I'm giving it to a little free library doesn't mean I didn't like it. I really enjoyed this one. It's set in the South in the United States, and it's watering. It's one eye that's watering, just one. And it's It's a guy who he was known for being a pretty good reporter. I think he got a Pulitzer. And now he's just trying to write a novel, but he can't seem to get that off the ground. And so he's going off to this cabin that his brother-in-law owns, and it's on the edge of a lake, and he's gonna go there to try to get his mind together, get this novel written. And when he gets there, he finds out that there's some circumstances that are a little strange, and people are saying weird things to him, and he doesn't know what it all means. And certain people, especially people in law enforcement, and the founder of the town and all of this, they're like, well, why is a reporter here? What does he want? He needs to not be digging around. And so, of course, when they tell him don't dig, he's a journalist, he's gonna dig. And so that's the main part of the story. But this is kind of a thriller type of book, and there is a little bit of a supernatural element in here as well. Some clairvoyance and visions and magical healings and stuff like that. It's a good mix of supernatural and horror and thriller. And it's not too much of any of those things. I think part of this, one of the blurbs described it as being a little bit of Southern Gothic. I wouldn't say full-fledged Southern Gothic, but it does have a little bit of that element to it. I really, really enjoyed this story. I don't think I'd ever read Stuart Woods before. And this is a book from, I think it's 1984, 1987. No. I don't know, I'm old and I can't see. It's in here on this page, I know. 1987. Jeez. 1987. I really enjoyed it, but I am putting this one into the little free library. Now what I've started, and I'm actually almost done, I'm a little more than halfway through this one. Now, Michael K. Vaughan on his YouTube channel does different events. Some he has made up himself, some are other events that other booktubers have created. But I mostly watch him. Sorry, it just keeps watering. And so one of the things that he brought up in one of the last episodes that I had seen was Private Eye July, and I thought, oh, perfect, that I have never read Raymond Chandler, and I have this entire Marlowe series. So this is what I picked to go ahead and read for that. So this is The Big Sleep, and it involves a private detective named, last name is Marlowe. Is it Philip Marlowe? Oh, geez. Tells you what he doesn't use. It's written in the first person, so he doesn't say his own name very often. But I believe it's Philip. And it's obviously it's a mystery, and I I have been listening to like noir jazzy type music, like it's kind of soft jazzy speakeasy type music just in the background while I'm reading this, and it's super fun to do it that way, because it just kind of gets me into that late 1930s early 1940s mood, especially with the detective and the just that whole genre. The music really adds to it, and it doesn't, I have it low enough so that it's not distracting me from reading. So I'm really enjoying this one. I'm, like I said, about halfway through, and it starts off, Marlowe is hired to try to find out what is going on with this guy that his daughter had dealings with. She was set to marry him, and then he just kind of up and disappeared. Nobody knows what happened to him. But this man also has the one daughter and another daughter, and both of these daughters are just troublesome, particularly one of them, and she gets caught up in all of these different things. I don't really want to say too much because it is a very short book and it's fun and it's fast paced. So if I say too much, it's just gonna blah. So I'm really enjoying this. I do love mysteries. And this is, like I said, the first time that I've ever read anything from Raymond Chandler, but I had heard a lot about him, and I happened to see all of the Marlowe series in a used bookstore one time, and I thought, I'm going to get them. I don't know if I'm going to like this author, if I'm going to like his style of writing, but I got it, and so far, I'm enjoying it, so yay, I'm almost done with that. When I finish this, I am going to go back, speaking of mysteries, I'm going to go back to Laura Childs and her Tea Shop Mystery for the 8th book in that series, and that would be Blood Orange Brewing. And again, this is one that's also set in the South. This is South Carolina, Charleston, and it's a tea shop that's there, and the owner, she gets involved in a lot of trouble. I don't know that this would count as Private Eye July, because she's not technically a private eye, but murder mystery, I'm down for it. The other book that I'm reading, this one I'm doing both physical and audio because it is kind of a big book. You can see I just started it. This is Cutting for Stone by Abraham, I don't know how to say that, Verges? I don't know. Now this is set in the 1950s, and it's about two brothers. Their mother was a nun from India, and she was on a ship to take her to Africa to do her ministry as a nurse and a nun in this little hospital in Africa. And while she's on that ship, some, tragedies happen and everything. People start getting sick, and she doesn't, she's trying to do her best, but she's just a nurse. Turns out there is a doctor who was also on his way to the same place. And years and years later, they've been working together for years, and then all of a sudden she turns up pregnant. And I know that there are two brothers, but the story is being told by one of the brothers. So I don't know. I'm very, very early into it, so I don't know what is going on. But right now I'm still in sort of the backstory of the nun and the doctor. And I got to the part where everybody is completely shocked that this nun is going to have a baby. Like, excuse you, she's a nun. She shouldn't be doing those things. It's impossible. So that's where I'm at. So far, from what I can tell from the little bit that I've read, it's going to be, I think it's going to be one that's going to try to tug at my heartstrings and maybe try to make me cry. I don't know. But it's about family, so we'll see how this goes. So far, it's pretty enjoyable. Like I say, I'm doing both audio and physical reading, eyeball reading, just because it's bigger and I can listen to it sometimes on my way to and from work, then come home and read a few actual pages with my eyes. Hopefully we'll get through that rather quickly. And then I am also reading another book on my Kindle, The Case Files of Aldous Vestgard. Now this is a steampunk Victorian era story. It's set in a world that is similar to Victorian England, but all of the place names are not real life places. And he's basically, he's also a detective. But he's got magical powers, but his magical powers, he can sense other magical powers around him, which help with his job, but they are so strong within him that they literally can burn him up from the inside, and it's very painful for him. So he has to wear these special wristbands that kind of dampen his powers. But boy, when he lets them loose, whew, you better be not anywhere in the vicinity. Don't get on this man's bad side. But it's just short stories. I think I'm just starting the third little story. It's just a collection of short stories involving this Aldous Vestgard guy. And I've never really read a whole lot of steampunk. I think this might be the second or third type of story that I've read with that, and I'm kind of enjoying it. But the fun thing about this is, um, there's a lot of steampunk, um, alchemist, metallurgy type of jargon going on. I don't know all the what the words mean, and I really don't have the wherewithal to go and look up all these words, but they're big words, and I'm like, I don't know what they mean. But if I just read it out loud to myself in a British accent, or what I try to pass off as a British accent, I find that I'm enjoying it a lot more hearing it, me speaking it, hearing it, um, than just plain reading it in quiet. So I'm having a good time doing that. It is quite a big book, I think. I think the printed version is 500 or more pages. I'm not sure. But it is pretty big. But because it's in short story format, there's a bunch of little short stories. It's easy to digest. There's, just a little bit here, there's a short story there, 20 pages, 30 pages here and there. It's going to go by rather quickly, I think, just based on the time that I have to read. And that is everything that I have started and finished, and what I plan to start. Hold on, let me get that off of there. So these books are all going to be put into my little notebook that I was telling you that I started. I don't know why I started this, but every year from the year I was born forward, from the beginning of 2025, I want to get all of these done. I know I'm not going to get them done because we're already in July, and I am not anywhere near halfway to filling this out. Let's see, this is all the 70s. I haven't read much in the 70s. I've read a few in the 80s, late 90s, and then more current. I was surprised. I've actually been reading more current titles. But I've been doing the all my different bookshelves are numbered. And then I go through a random number generator to tell me which shelf to pick from. And then I try to pick a book that is on a year that I haven't read a book from that year. I try to do that. But I've also been doing things like Private Eye July, that is a prompt from Michael K. Vaughan, and just other things that just randomly pop up because I think it's cool. But the random number generator thing, it just helps me keep things from being like, oh, I don't know what to read, or I'm kind of bored with what series I'm reading, so I'm going to try something else, but I don't know what. That kind of helps me choose. So that's what I'm doing in my little, just showing a little bit of what I'm doing on this front. I have relabeled it. I don't know if you could see it. I had put 2025, but I put 2025 and 2026 because I'm pretty sure I'm not going to fill up this whole thing that I have here this year. I mean, I might, but I don't think so. And this is only for physical books that I own. I do have other pages on here that I'm writing down things that I've read on Kindle or audiobooks that I've listened to, just to keep a record of what I've done. Excuse me. Anyway, that's all I've got as far as books right now. I just wanted to kind of catch you up on things. And I was mentioning too that this one is going to go to the little library. I don't know that I'm going to keep Raymond Chandler. Like I said, I've got all the books in this series, but I don't know that I'm going to keep them. I'm still on the fence about that. I know I'm not going to keep this one. This is one I probably won't read again. Even though I've just barely started it, I don't really go for the... I don't even know what genre that is. Is that just general literary fiction, just general fiction. But I don't really read that too often. I have some here and there throughout my bookshelves, but it's not my biggest thing. I'm more mystery or fantasy or sci-fi. So I don't think I'm going to be keeping this just based on the genre. So far, I'm enjoying it, like I said, but I don't think I'm going to keep that one. And I'm not keeping any of the cozy mysteries. Those are also going to the little free library. Might as well share. Except for the really, really pretty ones. Who knows? I might change my mind at some point and get rid of the really, really pretty one too. But for right now, I have the only 3 books that she has written. So I'm keeping them. I'm starting to babble. I'm sorry. I will go ahead and say goodbye now. Thank you again for spending some time with me and listening to me rattle on about the stuff that interests me as far as books go. And I will talk to you again next time. Bye.